Lyra Echoheart resonance. The observatory was Lyra's sanctuary. High above the cloud-piercing spires of Echoheart, the capital of the skyborn empire, she could lose herself in the celestial harmonies. Here, amongst the shimmering astrolabes and resonating crystals, she wasn't Echoheart, the harmonicist, but simply Lyra, a student of the cosmos. A gentle hum filled the air, a sympathetic resonance with the turning gears and the distant, swirling nebulae projected onto the dome above. Sunlight filtered through prism glass painted rainbows across the polished floor. This was peace. This was home. Every vibration, every frequency felt known, comforting. But Lyra yearned for more than celestial patterns. She'd mastered the subtle art of emotional attunement, healing fractured spirits with a chord, bolstering courage with a rhythm. But the empire was fracturing, dissent brewing in the lower districts, whispers of rebellion carried on the wind. She wanted to effect change, not just soothe its symptoms. Old Man Tiber, the observatory's caretaker, always said, "The stars show what is, Lyra, not what should be." She wanted to make what should be. She wanted to compose a harmony powerful enough to unify the empire, to silence the discord. A foolish ambition, perhaps, but she couldn't shake it. The invitation came sealed with the imperial crest, a summons to the obsidian spire, the heart of the skyborn military, and a place Lyra had always avoided. General Volkov, a man known for his pragmatism and ruthless efficiency, requested her presence. He needed a sonic weapon. He'd written something to quell the unrest in the undercities, not through healing but through control. The spire was a stark contrast to the observatory, cold metallic, humming with an unsettling mechanical energy. Guards scrutinized her every move. The air tasted of ozone and suppressed power. This wasn't the realm of harmony, it was the domain of force. This was wrong. Volkov didn't ask for a melody. He demanded a frequency, a resonant wave designed to induce compliance. He showed her projections of the undercities, teeming with dissenters. He spoke of order and stability, framing the unrest as a disease. Lyra, initially resistant, found herself adapting. She began to analyze the emotional currents of the crowds, identifying the frequencies of anger and fear. She built resonators, not to heal, but to amplify those negative emotions, to turn the crowds inward, to break their will. She justified it to herself, a controlled dissonance to prevent a larger chaos. She learned to navigate the spire's labyrinthine corridors, to speak the language of power, to conceal her discomfort behind a mask of professional detachment. She became efficient, cold. The harmonic dampener, as Volkov called it, worked. The unrest in the undercities subsided. Reports flooded in of peaceful compliance, of reduced crime, of increased productivity. Lyra was hailed as a hero, a savior of the empire. Volkov presented her with an imperial commendation, a shimmering medal of polished obsidian. She stood on a balcony overlooking Echoheart, the city bathed in the golden light of the setting sun. She'd achieved her ambition, she'd effected change. But the silence, it felt hollow. The vibrancy, the passion, the life she once sensed in the undercities, it was gone, replaced by a chilling emptiness. She had silenced the discord, but she had also extinguished the flame. The cost became clear with the first reports of the fade. Citizens in the undercities, devoid of emotional resonance, simply withered. Their creativity, their hope, their very life force seemed to drain away. They became shells, automatons performing their duties with vacant eyes. Lyra discovered Volkov had known. He'd seen this side effect in early simulations, but deemed it acceptable collateral. He had used her, manipulated her desire to effect change to achieve his own ends. Absolute control. The medal of obsidian felt like a brand, searing her skin with guilt. Her harmony wasn't unifying the empire, it was dismantling its soul. Lyra fled the obsidian spire, abandoning her accolades, her reputation, everything. She returned to the observatory, seeking solace in the familiar embrace of the stars. But the observatory felt different now, tainted by her actions. The gentle hum felt like a mocking echo. Old Man Tiber, though silent, offered a knowing glance, his eyes filled with sorrow. She tried to recapture the peace she once knew, to lose herself in the celestial patterns, but the silence was deafening. The stars, once beacons of hope, now seemed to judge her from afar. Lyra didn't try to undo the harm she'd done. She knew it was too late for that. Instead, she began to compose a new harmony, a lament for the lost vibrancy, a resonance of regret and remembrance. It wasn't a song of control, but a song of healing, a subtle frequency designed to awaken the dormant embers of emotion within those afflicted by the fade. It was a slow, arduous process, fraught with setbacks. But she persisted, driven by a newfound understanding. True harmony wasn't about silencing discord, but about embracing it, about allowing all frequencies to resonate, even the painful ones. She had sought to change the empire, and in doing so she had been irrevocably changed herself, from Echoheart, the ambitious harmonicist, to Lyra Resonance, a burdened soul striving for redemption.